Imagine rubbing an environmental hazard onto your arms and legs immediately after a hot shower when your pores are fully open and gasping for hydration. You think you are indulging in self-care, but you are actually varnishing yourself in a cheap derivative of the oil industry. If you have ever applied a high-street lotion only to find your skin feeling oddly tight, synthetic, or even thirstier an hour later, you are not imagining it. You are experiencing the systemic failure of the British personal care market. Millions of us blindly trust the bottles lining the shelves of our local chemists, assuming that if a product is sold in a reputable shop, it must be completely safe. The reality is that the personal care industry has pulled off the ultimate magic trick, charging you premium prices for water and industrial byproducts while burying the actual active botanical ingredients at the very bottom of the label. By watching this video to the absolute definition of its end, you will find out exactly which common supermarket lotions are doing more harm than good. I will show you the specific chemical additives that have triggered major health warnings right here in the UK, and we will break down the exact mechanism of how major corporations cut production costs while keeping their iconic branding identical. Most importantly, near the end of this deep dive, I will reveal a shocking regulatory loophole that allows banned substances to sit openly on British shop shelves, waiting for unsuspecting families to buy them. Before we name and shame the specific culprits currently occupying space in your bathroom cabinet, we need to understand the basic mechanics of how a genuine moisturizer is supposed to work. Think of your skin barrier as a brick wall. The skin cells are the bricks, and natural lipids, like ceramides and fatty acids, act as the mortar holding everything together, keeping moisture locked in and environmental toxins out. A high-quality body lotion is supposed to replenish that mortar, sinking deep into the tissue to repair the structure from within. It is supposed to cooperate with your biology, not override it. Instead, mass-market manufacturers use cheap industrial shortcuts to mimic the sensation of hydration without actually providing any. The most common trick is relying heavily on occlusive barriers made from mineral hydrocarbons. Imagine wrapping your body in cling film. It certainly stops water from evaporating, but it does absolutely nothing to fix the underlying dryness of the skin beneath. It suffocates the tissue, disrupts the natural shedding of dead cells, and creates a false surface slickness that vanishes the moment you wash it off. Furthermore, the industry is heavily reliant on synthetic chemical stabilizers and heavy artificial perfumes designed purely to mask the unpleasant chemical smell of their base ingredients. These compounds are frequently linked to systemic irritation and endocrine disruption, yet they are marketed under terms like gentle care or deep nourishment. We have been conditioned to buy products based on the beautiful imagery of shea pods and avocado slices on the front label, completely ignoring the complex chemical soup listed on the back. It is a brilliant business model for the corporations, but an absolute disaster for your skin health. Let us take a look at the actual data and expose the worst offenders currently sold across the UK. Let us start dragging these corporate giants into the light. If you already feel like checking your own cupboard, subscribe right now, because it gets significantly harsher from here. Number 8 is Nivea Rich Nourishing Body Lotion. Owned by Beiersdorf, this brand has been a household staple since 1911, built on an image of pristine German heritage and gentle family care. It feels deeply luxurious, but let us look closer at the bottle you bought at Sainsbury's. The very first ingredient is listed as aqua, a posh corporate word for water, but the true insult is the second item, paraffinum liquidum. That is literal mineral oil, a completely synthetic hydrocarbon refined directly from crude oil, the exact same chemical family as crude industrial lubricants. It coats your skin like a layer of kitchen cling film, trapping your surface oils but leaving the deeper tissue completely dehydrated. A comprehensive laboratory study by the German Federal Institute for Risk Assessment discovered that mineral oil-based cosmetics frequently contain high concentrations of mineral oil aromatic hydrocarbons, toxic impurities that can accumulate within human tissue over decades of constant use. They mask this heavy chemical aroma by flooding the mixture with a synthetic perfume cocktail. Because fragrance formulas are classified as strict industrial trade secrets, companies legally hide hundreds of undisclosed artificial sensitizers under that single word. To make matters worse, this blend contains butylated hydroxytoluene, a highly controversial synthetic preservative. While the European Union heavily restricted this compound under updated cosmetic protocols due to documented concerns surrounding systemic hormone disruption. A massive regulatory loophole allows old stock containing this ingredient to sit openly on British shelves until inventory clears out. You are paying several pounds a bottle for water, petroleum leftovers, and a chemical stabilizer that regulatory bodies are actively trying to eliminate. This is not the heritage care your family trusted. It is a cheap industrial shortcut masquerading as premium skincare. Moving on, number 7 is Vaseline Intensive Care. This brand has dominated British bathrooms since the Victorian era, riding on a wave of historical trust established back when raw petroleum jelly was first discovered in 1859. This modern lotion relies on an aggressive combination of water, petroleum, and mineral oil. Instead of introducing true cellular hydration, it creates an absolute occlusive plastic barrier over the skin. If your tissue is already inflamed, you are simply sealing that dryness under a synthetic film. Independent testing frequently questions the refinement level of petroleum sold across different global territories, raising concerns about potential traces of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Compounds classified as carcinogenic under European safety guidelines. The real scandal lies in the preservation system, as this formula heavily utilizes methylparaben and propylparaben. These endocrine disruptors directly mimic estrogen inside the human body. A landmark study published in the Journal of Applied Toxicology identified clear concentrations of these exact parabens directly inside human breast tumor tissue, specifically concentrated in the outer quadrants near where body creams are daily slathered. The national charity Breast Cancer UK has issued explicit safety warnings urging consumers to avoid leave-on products containing parabens. Yet here is a massive household staple selling you a chemical cocktail that national health charities tell you to avoid. It is a masterclass in selling you a cheap petroleum wrapper under the guise of therapeutic recovery. Number 6 takes us to Dove Essential Nourishing Body Lotion. Owned by Unilever, Dove commands an astronomical global marketing budget designed to position it as the ultimate dermatologist-recommended champion of pure, clean beauty. Flip the bottle over and look past the marketing. While it contains glycerin to attract surface moisture, the structural feel is entirely fabricated, using dimethicone and heavy synthetic silicones. It fills in the tiny crevices of your skin tissue temporarily, engineering a slippery illusion of silkiness without repairing a single cell beneath. This is cheap structural filler dressing up a thin formula. The true problem is the intense fragrance load. While a standard high-quality lotion maintains an artificial scent level below 2%, laboratory profiles indicate Dove frequently quadruples this amount to cement its brand identity. This excessive load bombards your skin barrier with countless undisclosed chemical allergens. For a product claiming to be uniquely gentle, loading the formula with synthetic aromatic compounds is an absolute contradiction. It is simply an industrial perfume delivery system designed to make you feel clean while adding zero authentic value to your skin architecture. Number 5 is E45 Dermatological Cream. This is going to upset people because E45 is a sacred British institution, prescribed on the NHS and used by over 3 million people across the country. Your local GP has likely told you to rub this from a clinical white tub, assuming it represents medical-grade safety. The active foundation of E45 relies heavily on liquid paraffin and white soft paraffin. This is a basic, rudimentary petroleum mixture. For individuals suffering from severe eczema or broken skin barriers, relying entirely on a heavy crude oil derivative is a lazy, cost-cutting approach to formulation. To preserve this mass-produced compound, the formula relies on methyl hydroxybenzoate and propyl hydroxybenzoate, which are simply technical chemical names for parabens. Think about the systemic mechanics here. Someone dealing with chronic dermatitis applies this medical-looking cream over large areas of their body multiple times a day for years. They are experiencing massive cumulative exposure to hormone-disrupting agents. The NHS continues to buy it simply because it is incredibly cheap and does the bare structural minimum. It is an outdated, grandfathered formula that ignores modern dermatology to preserve corporate profit margins. Number 4 is Boots Pharmaceuticals Dermacare Cream. Boots is a cornerstone of the British High Street, a brand synonymous with healthcare and prescription safety. The packaging looks incredibly clinical, using medical terminology to bypass your natural consumer skepticism. The actual formula is identical to the budget brands. Water is the primary ingredient, immediately followed by a massive dose of crude petroleum. The preservation system is packed with methylparaben and propylparaben, completely ignoring the safety alerts raised by Breast Cancer UK. Selling cheap petroleum and controversial preservatives under a pharmaceutical banner is borderline deceptive. Number 3 is Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula. It boasts a vintage heritage aesthetic covered in natural imagery, but the primary moisturizing agent is petroleum, not the raw cocoa butter displayed on the front label. The signature chocolate aroma is completely synthetic, created to trick your senses while masking the heavy scent of the crude oil base. They even include synthetic tar dyes like yellow number 5, purely to tint the cream into a rich, beige tone. You are rubbing industrial coal tar colorants onto your body just to satisfy a marketing aesthetic. Number 2 is Garnier Ultimate Blends 7 Days Shea. Owned by L'Oreal, this line uses beautiful botanical photography to promise a full week of deep cellular nourishment from a single application. The reality is the standard mass-market bait and switch. Water and cheap mineral oil make up the bulk of the bottle, while the advertised shea butter is reduced to a microscopic trace amount just to satisfy legal labeling requirements. Finally, number 1 is Superdrug Vitamin E Intensive Moisture Cream. This is the absolute bottom of the barrel. To create a lightweight texture that feels like instant absorption, they blend water and mineral oil with denatured alcohol. Alcohol denat actively strips away your natural lipid barrier, causing rapid surface evaporation that leaves your skin completely parched. It triggers a vicious cycle where your skin dries out, forcing you to reapply more product, running through the bottle faster, and sending you right back to the shop to buy another container of petroleum, drying alcohol, and parabens. It is a generic, low-grade chemical compound slapped into a high-street tube, exploiting consumers who are simply trying to save a bit of money on their everyday essentials. And now, what it was worth watching all the way through for. Let us completely shift the energy and talk about the products that are actually worth your hard-earned British pounds. Options that respect your biology instead of trying to suffocate it. First on our list of recommendations is CeraVe Moisturizing Cream, which you can easily grab from Boots or Superdrug. Developed in direct collaboration with clinical dermatologists, this brand avoids flashy marketing gimmicks to focus entirely on intercellular repair. The absolute heroes of this formula are 3 essential bioidentical ceramides combined with pure hyaluronic acid. Instead of creating a cheap plastic film over your skin tissue, these lipid compounds physically sink deep into the stratum corneum to actively rebuild your broken skin wall. Clinical trials have confirmed that its patented multivesicular emulsion technology slowly releases these hydrating agents over a full 24-hour cycle. It is entirely fragrance-free, non-comedogenic, and specifically designed to be safe for eczema-prone skin. In terms of value, while a massive tub might cost around £16, it is an incredibly dense, concentrated cream. A single coin-sized amount covers a massive surface area, bringing your actual cost per application down to mere pence. The only real downside is that the texture is intentionally thick and clinical, meaning it takes a minute of firm massaging to fully absorb, but that is a tiny price to pay for genuine cellular restoration. Next up is Aveeno Skin Relief Moisturizing Lotion, and make sure you specifically look for the Skin Relief version with the blue accents on the shelf, not the standard daily version. The foundational philosophy here is centered on clinical botany, utilizing an advanced triple oat complex that blends finely milled oat flour, oat extract, and pure oat oil. Oatmeal contains natural compounds called avenanthramides, which are scientifically proven anti-inflammatory agents that immediately switch off the chemical triggers behind chronic itching and skin irritation. It also includes rich shea butter to support natural ceramide production from within. It carries the official National Eczema Association seal of acceptance, giving you verified third-party proof that it contains zero hormone disruptors or industrial masking perfumes. It glides onto the skin with a lightweight, silky fluid consistency that absorbs within 30 seconds, leaving an entirely matte, grease-free finish. Priced at roughly £8 to £10 for a generous bottle across UK supermarkets like Tesco and Asda, it offers an exceptionally high-performance alternative for anyone dealing with highly reactive, sensitive skin. Moving into the budget-friendly category, we have Simple Kind to Skin Hydrating Light Moisturizer. Simple is a historic British brand that has championed minimalist, clean formulation since 1960. The entire concept is completely transparent. Zero artificial dyes, zero synthetic perfumes, and absolutely no harsh chemicals that can destabilize sensitive skin. Instead of industrial fillers, this ultralight fluid relies on niacinamide and provitamin B5 to draw ambient moisture directly into the deeper cellular layers. Niacinamide is a powerhouse ingredient that actively strengthens the skin barrier while reducing redness and regulating natural lipid production. It feels incredibly clean and weightless, sinking into the skin instantly with zero sticky residue, making it an absolute dream for daily full-body application or layering. It is incredibly accessible, usually sitting on the shelves of Morrisons, Sainsbury's, and local co-op shops for under £5, making it proof that you do not need a massive budget to completely avoid petroleum-based garbage. For those who want to invest in a premium, luxurious experience, look no further than Liz Earle Orange Flower Botanical Body Cream. This independent British brand handles manufacturing right on the Isle of Wight, focusing entirely on high-grade natural oils. The first ingredients listed on the label are pure avocado oil, rich shea butter, and organic borage seed oil. This is a massive contrast to the cheap supermarket brands. There are no heavy mineral oils here. Avocado oil is naturally packed with vitamins A, D, and E, which provides intensive nourishment for mature or deeply dehydrated skin tissue, while borage oil delivers essential gamma-linolenic acid to protect natural elasticity. The scent is entirely natural, derived from real sweet orange and lavender essential oils, giving you an authentic spa-like sensory experience without a single drop of synthetic perfume. It costs around £21 for a tube, which is a significant step up in price, but you are paying explicitly for premium botanical oils rather than a bottle of water and crude industrial leftovers. Finally, our top premium recommendation is Lush Dream Cream, handmade directly in Poole, Dorset. Lush has built a massive reputation on fresh, ethical cosmetics with minimal preservation systems. Dream Cream is a legendary formulation specifically engineered to soothe extreme inflammation and chronic dry skin conditions. The structural base consists of over 30% real oat milk, blended with extra virgin olive oil and fair trade cocoa butter. These high-grade ingredients sit at the absolute top of the ingredient list, not buried as trace amounts at the end. It delivers an incredibly rich, comforting texture that leaves the skin feeling profoundly soft and protected for hours. It does carry a distinct herbal aroma due to the inclusion of genuine chamomile and lavender oils, which might be a bit polarizing if you prefer entirely unscented creams. And because it uses a self-preserving formula with minimal synthetic stabilizer compounds, you do need to keep an eye on the expiration date on the pot. It is an investment in fresh, active ingredients that perform exactly how they are advertised. Now that we have stripped away the corporate illusion and identified exactly what to avoid and what to invest in, you need a personal checklist to protect yourself on your next trip to the shops. Let us establish 6 concrete rules for navigating the personal care aisles at your local Tesco, Boots, or Sainsbury's without falling victim to clever marketing. First, look at the top 3 ingredients on the back of the bottle. If water is immediately followed by paraffinum liquidum, petroleum, or mineral oil, put it right back on the shelf, because you are being overcharged for refined crude oil byproducts. Second, scan the lower half of the list specifically for any words ending in paraben, such as methylparaben or propylparaben, as these are synthetic preservatives flagged as hormone disruptors by Breast Cancer UK that serve no beneficial function for your skin cells. Third, look out for the generic catch-all term fragrance or parfum, which indicates the legal hiding place for dozens of undisclosed artificial chemical compounds and allergens. Fourth, treat trendy buzzwords and beautiful photography on the front label as nothing more than a legal distraction. Flip the container over to verify if that advertised shea butter or avocado oil sits within the top 10 ingredients or is buried as a token trace fraction at the very bottom. Fifth, treat denatured alcohol, often listed as alcohol denat, as a major warning sign in any product claiming to be an intensive moisturizer, as it acts as a cheap drying agent that forces rapid fluid evaporation and creates a destructive cycle of constant reapplication. Sixth, check for third-party medical and dermatological verifications, like the National Eczema Association seal of acceptance. Rather than relying on vague corporate slogans like dermatologist recommended, which carry zero independent regulatory weight. Take a mental picture of these parameters because they represent your ultimate line of defense against exploitative formulation practices. Ultimately, this entire investigation uncovers a broader, fundamental reality of the modern British consumer landscape. The mainstream personal care industry is built around an incredibly cynical profit model, maximizing corporate margins by combining virtually free tap water with cheap petroleum leftovers, and then spending millions on comforting advertisements to trick your historic family trust. The single shift in thinking you need to adopt today is simple. Stop buying body care based on the pristine history of a brand name or the peaceful aesthetic of its packaging, and start treating an ingredient list exactly like a financial contract. When you learn to read the back of the label with standard consumer skepticism, you immediately strip these massive multinational conglomerates of their power to manipulate your household choices. I want to say a massive thank you for spending your valuable time diving into this investigation with me today. If this deep dive has completely changed the way you look at the bottles sitting in your home right now, please take a quick second to share this video with a friend or family member who still relies on those clinical tubs every single morning. I want to know the absolute truth about what is sitting on your bathroom shelves right now, so drop a comment below and tell me exactly which of these targeted brands is currently hiding in your cupboard. Hit that like button and smash the hype button one final time to push this independent research past the corporate algorithms. And make sure you subscribe to the channel right now, because we are already preparing a massive expose on the everyday supermarket foods and household cleaners that are actively ripping off British households. Until next time, read your labels meticulously, question the television marketing campaigns with absolute edge, and protect your body.